I got a lot of hair. Oh my God, I lost so much hair on that medication, and nobody noticed. Bum, bum. Oh, it's for pain. It's called gabapentin. Yeah, great. Now I have a headache. We're live. All right, let's do this. Hey, how about a round of applause for me for coming out here? And a shout out to all my new Ethiopian friends. I don't even know why I'm starting out like that. It's just that I worked with an Ethiopian today. I don't know how they found me, but I was telling him, you know, it's interesting when you're not. Americans usually just don't have their geography down. They just really don't, you know. And they think that all Ethiopians have no food, that they're skinny, that they're starving. This is a chubby Ethiopian, and he's like, we have a lot of food. So I said to him, I heard that a shish kebab, an Ethiopian restaurant, is a toothpick with 5 grains of rice. And he's going to use that tonight, and I think that's wonderful. Isn't that great that he does? You have to imagine what it's like not to speak English and to look a certain way. He's a black man. They pull him over. He has no idea what they're saying. It's hysterical. It's so much fun. He's at the Abel Theater tonight, so I'm really happy about that. And does anybody know any places in France to perform? All right. Somebody called me for, you know what? People think I could do anything, by the way. Somebody's like, I need a space, 300 people, Paris. That's what I get. And I can't do it. So in case you're just tuning in, my name is Sunda Kronquist. I'm the host of this madness. It's Funky Friday, and it really is because I haven't seen this much traffic, all right, until Trump came back into office, and I don't know if I like it. It's been so much traffic. Come in. It was traffic, right? I couldn't even park. He's on me. Ramirez, thank you for reminding me. I had the crazy experience here. Isn't this crazy? This is a comedy place, right? But drama happens here. Somebody made a Canadian joke, and like somebody in the audience just melted down. And that's what I was talking about. I can't talk, now we can talk about it, right? We could talk about Canadian, because, you know, I was trying to become a Canadian. You know why? They had ACTRA. Did you know that? They had AFTRA and SAG together. So Americans were trying to get jobs there, and so that's why I was trying to get my citizenship. Plus, I had a boyfriend over there at the time who says he didn't understand. He couldn't bring me home because I wasn't Jewish, and I said I can't bring him home because he's broke. And the one thing I really hated was those hockey games. It was so cold. Has anybody ever been to a hockey game? It's not for me. So let's give it up for our marketing director here, Billy Ramirez. A round of applause for coming in tonight. Tim Martin, our filmmaker, is here, and we're so happy to talk about. Hey, I'm on Prime Video now. You can watch me for free in the UK. I'll mention that, and if you have it, watch it. It's live from Hollywood with Sunda Kronquist, or Sunda Kronquist live from Hollywood. I really don't remember, but if you put my name in, that'll come up, and so a few other things. But we're not going to talk about that. I will tell you that it's definitely great to be outside and without a mask. And now I'm worried because my building wants us to wear masks for the older people in the building. I am the older people in the building. And I have my teeth, you know, this week, so I kind of like wearing masks. So we have people that come in from all over, and we're going to have a night here of Ethiopian comedy, and I'm going to invite everybody. I've never done, Kenzie, I had a day today. And they're all on the phone. Okay, speaking Ethiopian in front of me, and he says to me, that is not how you say our language. And it's, remember something? And I felt really bad. It was just so insane. It was just so insane. Because something happened to me in a kosher butcher, and I'll share this with you, and I'll let you go. A black woman came up to me, and she said to me, help me. I said, what happened? She said, I'm looking for sheep. And I'm thinking, go to a meadow. And what is she, Little Black Bo Peep? Like, what are you looking for sheep for in the butcher, right? She was looking for lamb. She was Jewish, and she was Ethiopian. It's a Persian butcher. So I say to the Persian butcher, she wants lamb, and then she wanted something else, but I didn't know, so I left. He goes, no, you have to come back. You have to come back. You have to translate. And I was like, I don't speak this. So anyway, it's very interesting to learn about black Jews. They're really interesting because they don't speak English, and they only speak Hebrew. Because when I was in Israel, I was like, some fine men up in here, and nobody spoke English. I was like, wow. And they had Rasta hair and hot. They smelled like Israelis too. There's something different with Israelis. They say things you never hear in bed. They say things like, "You are so hot, so hot. You know it is so hot." But in my van, I have air conditioner. I sell to a special price. Someone's trying to get in touch with me and tell me there's something off with my sound. Thank you, QC people. And we're going to start. Let's just start the show right now. We're going to start with America's Sweetheart, the one and only Mark Zaffron.
Sonda's complaining about is she couldn't have had a worse day than that poor security guard in front of the former U.S. Agency for International Development as that stick figure, Maxine Waters, was busy yelling, "I pay your salary, you work for me, let me in the building." She sounded like a drunk telling a cop who was stopping her for speeding, "I pay your salary, you work for me." Like anybody wants to hear that. Okay. First time I met this woman, all right, who Trump called trash today, or garbage, whatever it was. She is.
Oh, stop it.
Listen, she was busy seriously hustling an upgrade on American Airlines, all right? And she was acting as if she didn't, she's 5'1" or something. What difference does it make if she sits in coach? She probably would have fallen through on the first class seat. Anyhow, she's shamelessly hustling an upgrade. She bought a coach ticket. She's flying to New York with a man who had to be her husband. Why? Because he looked uppity educated. He was wearing a bow tie. And he had an iguana body. You ever notice when tall men start to bend over, they look like iguanas? Chuck Schumer looks like an iguana. He has that hump. And Jewish men get the hump too, Jewish women. But Schumer has the iguana black man hump. All right? I remember I learned that from, Mr. Bragg. But he ain't alive anymore, so I can't make fun of him. Anyhow, such a crazy day. As I'm sitting there trying to work, watching TV, and it's a crazy day on TV. But I got to tell you something. Watching a news conference in Japanese and English is fascinating. Here we are. We have Trump on the right. It was actually the left. It's the right when you're watching it on TV. He's on the left, and he's talking. And then the Japanese premier, he's talking in Japanese. And there's some woman. The freaky thing is, it's a woman translator. So here's the Japanese premier talking. You can't hear him in Japanese, but you hear this woman's voice over it. All right? The same thing with the guy from the Prairie Shinbun, or whatever the name of the newspaper was. Because you had to let the Japanese media have something to say, right? But the end, it was an American reporter who asked a typically stupid American reporter's question. After they announced that if they do any tariffs, they're going to be bilateral, like they're going to negotiate them. You pay me, I'll pay you 10%, you pay me 5%. You want to import American food, I'll let you import Japanese chopsticks. There's only a thing here. At the end of the day, he goes, "What are you going to do if President Trump imposes unilateral tariffs?" And Japanese premier looks him in the eye and says, "I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to answer hypothetical questions." Right, yeah? And so Trump goes, hands around to him and goes, "Wow, that's the way you handle the press." Press is going, they don't know what to do. This is the craziest thing. During the Biden administration, they could dial in their jobs. There were no press conferences. The only thing you got to do was laugh at Karine Jean-Pierre. Now, all of a sudden, he's hardly even using his press secretary. Every time he signs an executive order, he has a claque of the press sitting there holding an impromptu press conference. After a while, you're going to get tired of it. But the truth is, but the best line was, they asked the Japanese premier what he thought of Donald Trump. And he said, "Well, I remember him as celebrity from TV. He was very, very scary man." And I'm thinking to myself, you must have been watching The fucking Apprentice. You're fired. You're fired. He was scary. I used to walk in there grouchy and everything, making all that in the Japanese. He was but in private, he's a very nice man. It was just like, what are you going to say to these people? It's just like too much. So, my last little comment on the state of America. This is my suggestion to all you out there in Sunderland. I can't think of it as TV land. It's Sunderland. Anyhow, you have to read the history of the Roman Republic, because everything and it's like Battlestar Galactica. This has happened before, it'll happen again, and again, and again, and again, all right? But remember why the Roman Republic turned into a dictatorship. Well, it's been a dictator. It was always an oligarchy, and it had a few instances of dictatorship. But why Caesar became, pushing Augustus, become the empire? Because they tried to prosecute him. He would never have crossed the Rubicon if he wasn't afraid that the minute he got there, they were going to serve him with papers and prosecute him. And you know what they were prosecuting him for? Making Rome rich. Because, you know, in the Roman Republic the best thing in the Roman Republic is you'd serve your term as consul, and then they give you a job governing one of the provinces, and they give you a couple of years to steal as much as you can before you came home. Some of them were better than others. The problem was, after they stole everything, they'd come back and they'd get prosecuted. Now, you know, one of the greatest lawyers in Roman times was Cicero. You know, he was a new man, as they call him, meaning he was on his way up. He was sort of like a Roman DEI lawyer. Anyhow, you know, people like him didn't normally get in the Senate. So the first person he prosecuted was this governor from Sicily that stole everything. And he won, made his bones. All right? So here's Caesar. He has this army behind him. He knows they're going to prosecute him when he crosses the border. So he takes the army with him. Next thing we know, battle after battle after battle, and Pompey ends up with his head cut off. Not nice, but that's the way they played the game in those days. All right? But read the history, because it's exactly what happened. So we all remember the first Trump term. And everybody, you know, and who was his? There was a guy that barbered Caesar. His name was Bibulus. He was about yay high. All right. He was pissed off because Caesar got the Aurora Cornealis, which is their equivalent of Medal of Honor, at some battle when they were kids. So the first thing they did is typical. They accused him of being a homosexual. Then they accused him of getting what he wanted from the king of Bithynia from bending over. The Romans were big on homosexuality. They liked to do it, but they didn't like to talk about it. And so, well, what are you asking for? Mark Antony fucked anything that moved. He was helping. Anyhow, you know, you could talk about, you know, gender dysphoria. The Romans were big on it. So anyhow, so Bibulus, during the whole first term of Julius Caesar, every time Caesar tried to pass a law, he'd say, "Oh no," he was the co-consul, by the way. I told his son. He'd go, "Oh no, the birds flew in the wrong direction," because the Romans were big on those omens. All right, so he learned better the second time around. He appointed his own council, but in the end, it reminded me of one person, Adam Schiff. As long as we're sitting here thinking about Adam Schiff, I don't know how you all out there voted for him for senator. We have to put up with 4 more years of that man. He's just going to stand there going, "Trump won the election because of Russian collusion, and I have a witness." It was like, you know, remember McCarthy? The problem with McCarthy and McCarthy is not only was he a liar, but he was a drunk. All right? Big time. You know, anyhow, I'll leave it with this. I used to like Pete Hegseth on Fox News. You know, nice newscaster, didn't know much about him. On the other hand, though, saying he couldn't do the job and that he was the least competent Secretary of Defense. Before there was the Secretary of Defense, they forgot he was called the Secretary of the Army. There was one locked up in Bethesda Naval Hospital who jumped out a window. All right? Just to let you all know, history is very important because, unfortunately, most congressmen hardly read Dick and Jane, forget history. And you know, most of the bills they pass, they don't read. Like Obamacare, I had to read it. I got paid to read it. Made a lot of money reading it, all right? But they didn't read it at all. It was only 15 different bills this way thick. These people don't read. And the staffers they have there, I heard about them from one of my associates who live. They're too busy dating. The first thing that happens if you're a woman, I heard this in Washington, and you go out on a date, is that the boy will ask you, "Who's your congressperson?" And they'll look at you like, "Okay, my congressperson. Yo, who do you work for?" Like everybody in Washington is a staffer. I mean, come on. She's higher than you. She's a lawyer. Anyhow, that being said, I'm going to turn the mic back over to Sunda. She will call up the next. You listen. With all due respect, what did you learn in Catholic school?
A lot.
Yeah, right. The history of the Irish Republic. Anyhow.
There you go. You gotta listen. My sister's gonna get upset by that.
What's that?
Because she's so proud of her Irish blood. You know that. Did you meet my sister? Dude, Lee Shorts. You know Lee Shorts? Where's the Shorts? He freaked out when he saw my family. Because they don't look like they belong here. No. No, they're very odd. Not odd, but just don't look that, you know. But, hey, listen, why don't we keep this going and do this thing? We've got the comedy of Elliot Chang in the house. Let's hear it.
You don't have to keep clapping. I can see you guys smiling. That's all I need. You're facing the right direction. That's all I need. What's up, guys? Let me just run through these really quick. So I'm originally from New York. When I first moved to LA, not even joking, the first week I lived here, someone invited me to a Coke party. And I was like, absolutely, let's go. And I don't do cocaine, but I just figure anyone who's giving away cocaine won't get mad when he catches me making sandwiches in the kitchen, right? It's like you can give away mounds of blow, but you're mad because I'm using all your Tupperware? Come on, bro. Like, what? Oh, you're kicking me out? Like, all right, give me 5 minutes. My laundry is almost done. Just chill out. Just chill out. So, I got misgendered in the supermarket. Someone bumped into me from behind. They're like, oh, excuse me, ma'am. I'm like, ma'am. And I wasn't offended that I was misgendered. I was brokenhearted because I don't look that old. I am a miss. All right. Like, let's just get this straight. Like, there's some years left in these eggs. Let's just, don't rush me. I mean, like, even from behind, you can tell these are fertile, childbearing hips. And, right, sisters? Or, I'm just speaking my truth. I mean, this patriarchy is out of control. All right. When I first moved to LA, I lived right off of Melrose Avenue, and there's always those guys handing out flyers. And this one guy handed out a flyer. He's like, hey, have you been in an escape room? And I was like, no, but I've been in a regular room with a girlfriend and a pregnancy test, so I get it. It's feels the same. It's like, how do I get out of here? I'm not paying for the next one. That's for damn sure. These pregnancy tests are a ripoff. That's all I'm saying. God damn it. The last job I had before I moved to LA, I worked on Wall Street in an investment firm, and I was one of those jerk-offs that would say, I get up every day at 5 a.m. I get a lot done when there's no one in the office. It's like, yeah, because they're all sleeping. Like normal human beings who aren't Batman. No one is up. I don't know why. I just liked it when no one was there. It's like, I get a lot of shopping done when the stores are closed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always get what I want. It's like, yeah, I think that's called looting. It's like, I always have a great orgasm before the girl gets to my house. You know what that's like? I can really focus when there's no distractions. Am I right, guys? Like, what? I don't know. For 2 years, every morning, like, yeah, 5 a.m. I like to watch the sunset from my desk. Yeah. I don't know I don't know what my problem was. So, so I recently lost 40 pounds because I recently gained 40 pounds. I was, that damn pandemic. Right? Just, pandemic and Netflix. That's all you need to gain. Like you gain it all, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna see people again." Oh man, I gotta get in gear now. I thought we were gonna be like in mass and inside forever, so I could just keep gaining this weight. So yeah, I was like, all right, I gotta lose all this weight. And the hardest thing to give up was ice cream. Like pasta, bread, rice was actually really easy, but ice cream is like that's my meth. Especially any ice cream where they like mash in candy bars into the ice. You know what I mean? Like if I see Butterfinger on the container, I don't even remember buying it. I wake up in my car holding it like, oh, what the fuck? When did the container's empty, no spoon. I'm like, what the? It's dry. I'm like, why is this dry? I licked this bitch dry? Are you kidding? I am an animal. And you start calculating like, how many calories did I just... Like you slowly look at the nutrition label and it just says, don't act dumb, you pig. Just eat me and hate yourself. And I'm like, I understand. So like you're always hoping when you look at a nutrition label, you're always hoping it's going to say 100% celery. It never does. It's just ice cream is all bad. So, but right before I lost all the weight, I was talking to this girl and she goes, hey, I bet if you lost a lot of weight, you'd be really hot. So I lost all the weight. I ran into her last week and she was like, guess not. Skinny, hot, you'll never see me naked. I was like, I understand. There's no intermittent fasting for my face. I understand. You can't crunch off being Asian. And if you don't like being Asian, then all right. 1 minute left. So the term gaslighting, is used a lot. So the term gaslighting came from the 1944 movie Gaslight, which starred Ingrid Bergman, which is one of my favorite actresses. And that movie's about a man who drives his wife crazy by denying her reality. And I told my mom this, and she goes, "That's not where it comes from. That movie doesn't exist." I'm like, "Mom, are you gaslighting me about the movie Gaslight?" And she's like, "I'm not your mother, and I never was." I'm like, "Whoa!" All right, that's enough, guys. Thank you. Just Elliot Chang official. Who cares?
Oh, we care. Oh, no. All right. Right. Watch when somebody calls and says, "Hey, the Asian guy, what was his name again?" Hey, better believe it. You got to do what he says. So we've got the comedy of Billy Ramirez. Billy, come up here. Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah, leave it there. So if you can't read my handwriting, don't use the fart cam. There's an overlay on the top left of the fart cam. I can't. All right. Let's see what I want to talk about. So I recently did my taxes. I already got my state refund, which I guess shouldn't be something to brag about because I did my taxes quickly and I already got my refund, which I don't think that's something that rich people get to experience. I guess right now they're moving money from accounts to shores to offshores and whatnot. But no, not me. It's a very quick process, and it's a humbling process because at my age I should have a big hearty portfolio, a big healthy portfolio, but all I can muster is like some dusty used trapper keeper, just whatever W-2s I can find, and but that's all right. I submit my taxes and I always pass. I always get an A for refund and an F for spelling. So I'm a little cranky today because went to lunch with a new friend. I'm in a bowling league, and I made a new friend. We went to lunch, and he drove, and I found out that this SOB drives like an absolute maniac. And it's always a humbling experience being trapped in a car with someone who is a terrible driver. It's just like, like no, it's the wrong way. Like this is not a left turn lane. It's just like we got he parked in front of the restaurant 3 feet off the curb, like in front of people, and then I was the one passenger side that I don't know. It's just like it feels like being driven around in some sort of asshole Pope mobile, and it's like I am sorry, this is whatever. Just trying to go get a burger. My new friend doesn't know how to drive. I got rid of my cast iron pan recently. Finally did so. I mean, I hadn't used it in ages. At some point, I fell into the scam, the fad of cast iron. I don't know. It might come back again. Maybe it was when bacon was all the rage. Like, well, why was bacon all the rage? It should always be the rage. Bacon's always been delicious. I don't know. Bacon should never be a fad. But cast iron, at some point I got it, and then at some point I stopped, probably after the first time I used it. I hate it, because it's just some old technology. It always felt like I was working on a train when I busted that thing out. It's like trying to grease a train wheel, and it's like but mostly it's all the hype surrounding it, and the elbow grease. It's like, well, cast iron, you don't have to use oil. Yeah, unless you thoroughly oil it and also not really wash it and then oil it every single time you. So yeah, don't tell me that it doesn't need any oil. But most of all, the most annoying thing was having my friends tell me about how cast iron, it conducts heat real well. Cast iron conducts heat real well. It's like, well, you know what? If I ever put together an orchestra called Heat, I'll call my cast iron pan to conduct it, and maybe you'll shut up about it. Let's see. So I've been looking for a new job in marketing. I'm in marketing and sending out cover letters and resumes. And I've been noticing some companies are starting to just steer away from the cover letter, which is nice, especially since I'm not applying for writing jobs. Just you got my resume here. I don't know why you need, the cover letter feels like rewriting your resume in cursive. I don't know, but I think it's just a silly charade, unless you're in writing. But overall, it's a silly charade because I don't think that when has a good cover letter just landed someone the job, someone who's really unqualified. Like I don't never think that's ever happened. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe that happens. That explains a lot of a lot of things about the way things work. But I don't envision something like you're hiring for a really important position and then someone just walks up like, oh, hi, what's nice to meet you. Your name is Juice, nice to meet you, Juice. Okay, let's sit down. Let's interview. Let's take a look at your resume. Looks like you haven't worked in 28 years, and the last time you worked, the only time you ever worked, was running a VHS rental store in Davenport, Iowa. Is that correct? Juice, I got to be honest with you. This is the worst resume I've ever seen in my life. But fortunately for you, your cover letter, whoo, if I may borrow a word from your cover letter, I was enraptured, all right? So just based on the cover letter and the cover letter alone, congratulations. Tomorrow morning you start as head of pediatrics at Cedars-Sinai. Congratulations. You know? That's never happened before. Like, enough with the cover letters. I'm a naturally anxious person. Maybe not naturally anxious. I think it was beaten into me really as growing up as a first generation Mexican American. I think my anxiety stems from just growing up under the rule of la chancla. I don't know if you know what that is, but la chancla is a piece of footwear and a disciplinary device. I still fear the chancla. Like I was walking past the 50s Cafe on Santa Monica Boulevard not too long ago, and I saw a lady. She was eating outside. She reached out for her sandal. I almost dove into traffic. Like I wasn't taking any chances. But I don't know. This might just be social anxiety or bad memory. Who knows? But what I'm trying to segue into is I hope none of you ever asked me to ever pick a card. To me, that sounds like one of the most anxious. I'd rather try to land a passenger jet after a pilot, passes away or something. Like, no, don't ask me to pick a card, because what happens when you pick a card, you have to remember what the card says, and you got to put it back in the deck. And as soon as you put the card back in the deck, at least to me, that feels like trying to remember what the cooking instructions say after you threw away the package. It's like, oh man, is it 45 minutes at 300 degrees, or is it 30 minutes at 450 degrees, or 35? I don't know, man. It's like, what's that? Oh, my card? Oh, the Jack of Lanterns. I don't know. I'm sorry. I ruined your trick, Mr. Magician. But if you think that's bad, I burned my dino nuggets. So we're both having a bad day. Selfish. Let's see if I can fit this one in quickly. My mind's full of really stupid things, really dumb, useless things. Like it should be full of degrees and whatnot, but it isn't. Like, for example, I'm still obsessed with a commercial. I haven't seen it in about 5 years, and it's Domino's Pizza's world's fastest pizza box commercial. I don't know if you remember that, but they show off this guy. He's like the world's fastest pizza box folder. And the reason I think about that commercial is because I need to know whether or not that world's fastest pizza box folding skill was discovered or learned. Because if it was discovered, there's probably a cool story attached. Like maybe when he was a teenager on Super Bowl Sunday, the town pizza box folder fell ill, and then he stepped in, folded all the pizza boxes, and saved the pizza store, the town, the community. I don't know. My point is, if this pizza box folding skill was learned, then I get instantly depressed thinking about all those hours lost to pizza box folding practice. Like, who cares? Because it's great that he's the world's fastest pizza box folder. It's great that he's the world's fastest at anything, but of all the things he could be the world's best at, one of those things has to be the worst, and I'm pretty sure pizza box folding is going to be on that list. But then again, I might just be overthinking the very simple point of the commercial, which could just be that he just wants to show off that he's good with his fingers and he knows how to work a box. All right. My name is Billy Ramirez. You can find me at billyramirez.com. Please welcome back to. All right, are you coming back? Or should I intro someone? Please welcome back to the stage, Sunda Kronquist, who she's gonna teach us how to do the Laffy Taffy.
Oh my God, yeah. Laffy Taffy. Oh my God, I never knew you were anxious. I live on anxiety.
Oh, it's funny because I'm starting to write a bit about like how I hide my anxiousness.
You hide it so well.
A coworker once told me I was hard to read. Like, really, like inside, I feel like TV's Playhouse.
Now that you told me, I'll handle it differently, because you have no idea. I am so anxious.
No.
Depression's different than anxiety. Depression goes away. Anxiety is just waking up.
Well, I already did the chain with it, so you should know.
Oh my God, my mother used an electric cord. Sorry. These white people have no idea. That's why they're serial killers. That's a joke. All right. Speaking of my favorite white person, I love you, Kenzie. Coming to the stage, the one and only Kenzie. Let him hear you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Back to school. Back to school to prove to Dad that we're not a fool. Y'all know that Billy Madison? Billy Ramirez, you know Billy Madison? Yeah. Man, I've been in LA for a few years. It seems like people like to say LA is soft. You know, it seems like every other person I've met has been hit by a car. Yeah. Last I checked, concrete's pretty hard. You know, so are cars. Unless it's a Prius. You know, and not so much. Actually, one of my worst fears is death by Prius. That is not a joke. That is just true. But yeah, we might not be soft, but maybe a little bit dumb out here. Some of these people. I mean, how hard is it to look both ways, right? You know, and we know the drivers aren't paying much attention, right? You know, we're all on our phones. You know, you'll get hit by a car, bleeding out in the dark, cold concrete, and some OnlyFans girl's just driving away. You know, like the fuck was that? They're deer in Los Angeles. You know, it's sad. You know, but yeah, I've been out here to see a lot of homeless people dancing. Seem like they're having a good time. You okay, Sunda? Deep breaths. All right, deep breaths. Yeah, they seem like they're having a good time. You know, don't really see what the problem is, but I like to join them. All right, when they're dancing, like, hey, I like your moves. Did you take a class? Oh, it's the heroin coursing through your veins. Right, okay then. And I don't know, some of them, they're out there. You see them doing that whole Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker move. You guys seen that movie? Critics said that scene was so profound. I saw like 3 dudes do that on Fairfax like a week ago. You know, it wasn't so profound at that point. You know. We got homeless people where I'm from too, Washington, Seattle area, but it's a little too cold up there to dance. All right, so they just do this kind of fentanyl lean thing, and the kids, they came up with this new game where if they see a fentanyl addict doing the lean, they'll go over and they'll tip them over. Yeah, they're calling it urban cow tipping. Whole new thing. Not very nice, but pretty funny. Yeah, I came up with a game out here down by Venice. It's are they breakdancing or overdosing? 9 times out of 10, it's an OD. You know, people clam up when you talk about homeless in a funny way. You know, it's like, what are you doing about it? At least I'm talking about it, right? At least I'm acknowledging them. Most people don't even do that. Yeah, one of the solutions that people are proposing for the homeless issue is building tiny house villages, just like out there somewhere. Imagine the parties at those places, you know, just bonfires made up of all the furniture that we gave them, you know, passing around the vodka Windex soda, you know, preaching to their sons outside the fire. Son, if you have enough mental health disorders and do enough drugs through your teens and 20s, this could all be yours. You know, could all be yours. Big incentives. But yeah, LA's cool. I love it here. End of the day, it's a good place. Good place. My name's Kenzie Foster, guys. I have no affiliation with Foster Farms. You know, imagine getting rich feeding steroids to chickens, though. You know, just capitalism at its finest. Like, screw you, PETA. Back to the weight room, chickens. You know, chickens are in there shooting up, doing squats, like, "Bakak!" You know, no one's gonna make fun of these legs. Right. Stupid chicken jokes. I've been thinking a lot about chickens, though, lately. You know, and how they've played such an essential role in comedy for so many years. You know, you got the chicken dance. Why did the chicken cross the road? The squeaky rubber chicken. And after much thought, I finally deduced what it is that makes the chicken so funny. It's the bagok. It's the bagok. You know, and they do it in the perfect rule of threes, right? Bok, bok, bagok. Comedic geniuses. But apparently the chickens aren't real. Mark, you know this. The American chickens have been shot with so many hormones for so long that they're no longer real. Kind of like trans people. You know, little jab at the trans community. He's out on that. Can't hang. See you, miss. You know? Yeah, man. But yeah, nah. The trans are cool. The trans are cool. You know, put on a wig, you're a chick. You know, slip on a dress, call him a miss. Yeah, logic. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, no, they're cool. They're cool. Man, what else? I think my mom wanted me to transition growing up. You know, she named me Kenzie, feminine name. Guys would be like, "Oh, you're like a boy named Sue," and I'm like, "Oh, you're like really old. That is Johnny Cash is dead." You know, dated reference, sir. No, Johnny Cash is cool. But yeah, my mom, she pierced my ears. I had hoops, and she would dye my hair when I was growing up. You know, I was an adorable little girl. But my grandma, though, different generation. If I transitioned, she would have a heart attack. You know, she'd be like, "Oh no, we lost the boy to the gay agenda. Oh, get him to a therapist. Wait, all the therapists are lesbians. Oh, there's no escaping this Orwellian hell." Oh, that's my grandma. She's cool. She's a cool grandma. She's one of my best friends. Got to know her during the pandemic real well because you don't know what was happening to old people. But yeah, I got close. Found out she was into crypto. Yeah, I got a crypto grandma. You know, she was like, "Kenzie, digital currency's the future." I was like, "Grandma, how much future do you have left? You know, stick to the S&P, right?" What else? Found out she was a speed dealer in the 60s. Yeah, Grams was pushing grams. You know, maybe that's why I liked those cookies so much. Yeah, she's cool though. Don't let her near a Tommy Bahama. It's trouble for everybody. Trouble for everybody. Something I wanted to work out. Y'all ever had to hide from a girlfriend who's trying to stab you with a kitchen knife? Relatable. I don't like talking about exes. Society's made it tough for guys to talk about exes without being a villain. You know, can't say shit. You know, girls can talk about their exes all day. He's a piece of shit asshole. And people are like, "Yeah, you go, girl. You go." Guys, they mention one thing. "Oh, my ex-girlfriend, she was a little bit, And it's just like, "Oh, yeah, well, it takes two to tango. You know, you probably deserved it," is the typical reaction from most idiots. And, but I don't know, that's why when I talk about exes, I only talk about them with middle-aged divorce guys. They're the only ones that get it. You know, you'll start the sentence, "Yeah, I got this ex," and they just go off like, "Oh yeah, did she steal your gun and rack up $4,200 of credit card debt?" And it's, "How did he know? How did he know?" Yeah, middle-aged divorce guys. They're cool. They make loyal friends, right? Yeah, because they lost all theirs in the divorce, right? They appreciate the value of friendship. You know, they know things, how to navigate a quadro, not a hydro, a quadro. Some of y'all probably, you're a lawyer, you know what a quadro is. I'm not going to educate you on it today. For the people that don't, I don't have enough time. But yeah, they know how to navigate a quadro, which is important. Guys, techniques, very specific and good techniques for how to get away with murder. Middle-aged divorce guys, they know that. They know how to have a good time. That's for certain. They'll talk about their exes like it's the war, right? Like, yeah, 1993, it was supposed to just be a day at the beach. Us and a few other couples. That's when Jason got shot. And had to call evac. There was a lot of blood. My arm was a little mangled. I wanted to leave and cry, but I'm a guy, so that's when I started drinking real heavy. It was a good memorial service. Middle-aged divorce guys. Give it up for middle-aged divorce guys. Hey, if you're listening out there, follow Kenzie Cast on Instagram. It's a new podcast I'm doing. It's going to keep going. And follow me on Instagram at Kenzie Foster. And give it up for your host, Sunda. KenzyCast. Kenzie Cast. It's a fun time. We talk shit. There's some big questions. We do news for dudes, a.k.a. nudes. There's no nudes. Sorry, dudes. Just news. But hey, give it up for your host, Sunda Kronquist, and LA School of Comedy.
Yeah, we're doing something. You know, it's so funny. He's in finance. You're in finance. I worked on Wall Street. That's crazy. And the only reason I was there 5 a.m. in the morning, because I just got out of the club. It was so much shit back then, so much coke, so much partying, so much. I wasn't part of that. I just hung out. Well, listen, let's get some energy. I got to stop laughing like that. You're right. You know, one day Patty said to me, I don't know if it's a foghorn or you're laughing. And I said, I'm not going to laugh again. And then I heard my laugh on somebody's tape, and they said, that's what got me the gig. And I was like, the foghorn? So I don't know which laugh to give, but we all know he's going to give us a little Addy with Patty. Let's do this, Patty. Come on.
I'm coming up to the stage. Hold on, keep that going. Got a little ways to go. What a crescendo. What a crescendo. Hey, give it up for Kenzie. Was that fucking something?
Yes.
Come on. I got Marcus back there. He's clapping in his heart. There you go, Mark. That's one thing about Kenzie is it's always something. Like the last time you were here, you found the one Canadian with anger issues.
Oh, my God.
The people don't even. Canadians are traditionally very nice. He found the one that's like got fucking an anger issue, and then you hit that trans button, and Asian Rachel Maddox got the fuck up. Could not get fucking out of here fast enough. God damn, that was something. By the way, I am one of Kenzie's divorced middle-aged friends. By the way, thank you. I'll drink that in. I'll take that in. And I'm going to say something because we couldn't say it at the time. I was invited to a party at Kenzie's house, and he had just fallen very deeply in love in like 2 days with his building manager. We were out. I'm trying. I can say this now, but Big Nick was there. Remember Big Nick? And a couple other guys, and we were on the porch going, she's fucking nuts. I could tell that night, he better fucking be careful. But do you know what the curse is? A lot of the guys here know what the curse is. Crazy bitches fuck like hell. But there's something about a bipolar disorder that, holy shit. It's just true. It's 100% true. I'm married, and I always say I married the right woman, and I know because I married the wrong one first. But now I'm unsure. If I fucking married the right woman. I'm just saying, I'm being honest, like one of the best parts of being married is like I could look across the room and say, "Do you want to fuck?" Like it's probably not going to happen, but I could say it, right? Where else can you say that? I mean, I can't say that here anymore. Well, soon. He was flirting with me at the time, okay? It's not fair. It's not fair. My wife got new beds, right? She went out and bought a new bed. They're bunk beds. They're bunk beds. The only way I'm going to get her up on top. She's not, my sex life at this point is like parking in Koreatown. It's much easier if I pay for it. That was a prostitution reference. That was good. That was good. It's true. You don't know if you're going to be parking in the same spot for your whole fucking life. Pulling into the same fucking spot over and over and over again. You know? Yeah, it's good. It's a good crowd we have in here tonight, isn't it? Fucking wild. Mark was here. You know what I learned tonight from Mark? Was that a plethora of knowledge? Am I right? By God, I felt like it was kind of an angry PBS news hour, but just with a little bit of anger. I learned Mark Anthony was a whore. Who fucking knew? Mark Anthony was fucking everything. I never knew. They didn't teach me that in school. And then he made a very possible request for folks these days. You got to read. Come on. If you're a fascist, you got to read Mein Kampf, right? If you're going to call yourself a fascist. If you're a communist, you got to read the Communist Manifesto or Das Kapital, whichever. If you're a Trumpist, you probably don't read it fucking all. And the truth is, if you're a Kamalaist, you probably don't read it up fucking all either. People don't read anymore. They fucking scroll. It's all fucking slogans and shit. They don't read at all. I'm just saying, they don't read. That doesn't happen. Anybody here read a book lately? Well, fuck you. Fuck all of you. I love Alan because Alan is tried and true an accountant. He applauded when Kenzie said he got his state income tax back. No. That was when the muchacho got his taxes back. Alan was very good. Yes, that's great. That's fantastic. And I don't know why people get mad at the homeless. Because what the fuck difference does it make if you get angry at them? Do you think that's going to change anything, getting mad at them? The guy is living in a box. A refrigerator came in 3 weeks ago, and you think your anger is going to change anything? I mean, there's been a complete failure, right? Because somehow it became an idea that we had to treat the unhoused like an endangered species living in their natural habitat. When there's nothing fucking natural about it. Living in concrete and shitting behind the AM/PM mini-mart into a paint bucket is not our natural state. I was walking with my daughter to church, and there were 3 unhoused fellows sitting outside a tent, and they had eaten some DoorDash. The DoorDash was still there, and they were smoking crack. And they're passing it around. And I was walking to church with my daughter. And I just looked over and I said, hey, don't you want to do that inside your tent? The guy looked at me and he said, well, it's a beautiful day. And I went to church, and, church where I go to a Catholic church in Brentwood. So there's not a lot of God there. There's a lot of fancy fucking cars and people in their finest clothes feeling like they're kind of better than you, thinking they can atone for all the shit that they've taken, and they think they can do it on a Sunday. I tell you, Sunday night, I went and hung out with those motherfuckers smoking crack. I think they may have the key, because I'm a little nostalgic for crack. You know what I mean? Fentanyl now, what the fuck? I mean, crack was not whack. I smoked myself some crack. I had a ball. Most of the folks that smoke crack, they never had a problem. 25% of them got bad. But for the most part, crack was great. Clap it up for crack a little bit, you guys. Come on. Now, be honest. If you smoked a little crack, a little freebase in your life, clap it up a little bit. Okay, there's a couple fucking liars here. I know that. But the thing is about crack, say what you will about crack, but crack brought people together. It brought people of different backgrounds, of different races, got them together because, look, I'll tell you a secret. White people like to smoke crack too. But like Church's chicken, it wasn't available in our neighborhoods. Do you know when all bigotry goes out the window? When you run out of crack. Doesn't matter who's got, you'll smoke anyone's crack. Doesn't matter. You'll find yourself in a neighborhood whistling at 3:30 in the morning at grown men riding by on bicycles and with high socks on. This is going well. I'm glad I got up here tonight. This is going great. Yeah, I decided I'd take a 3-day pass and go to LA Fitness. Have you been to LA Fitness? This place? Have you seen the people that fucking work at LA Fitness? They were rejected by the TSA for not being charismatic enough. Fucking guy treated me so bad. You know, he says, "Honey, you were just here 3 months ago on a guest pass. You're not going to fucking..." I said, "Well, maybe I've changed my mind." He says, "No, I'm actually looking. You still owe us $76 from when you were a member here." But, you know what happened is COVID came and they kept on charging my card. Fuckers. They do that. They're terrible, the LA Fitness. I have nothing else to say about the LA Fitness. I used to, oh, look, that red light means my prostitute's ready. That's good. I like the curtain, this curtain back here. It's kind of like a curtain that they have at the Happy Endings massage parlor. It's a little like that. Woo! What a good time I'm having here tonight. Can I say that? What a great time I'm having. I might as well look. Are you guys familiar with Mando? Mando is the deodorant for your whole body. You know this? For your whole body. Mando. Is this a new thing? I've been rubbing Speed Stick on my balls for 20 years. All of a sudden, is it just me? Come on, Kenzie. Come on. Mando. It's for everywhere. I live in a neighborhood where it's difficult to park. And I had such a great parking space I could see it from my window that I Ubered over here. That's how bad. I think Uber should actually have Uber parking where they actually park for you while you drive somewhere else, so you can get that parking space back. Or they have this new thing. It's called Uber abortions. It's just like a regular Uber, except they slam on the brakes every fucking 3 blocks. No, that's not fucking any good. All right. I can tell from you guys. I can't tell if it's me. I'm drug-free tonight, though. I want to let you guys know. Freaking drug-free. That's that little drug-free. I have a little Flomax, some stool softener, just a hint of ketamine, just a little bit of ketamine. But other than that, well, on that note, on that great big note, I'm gonna say that I've had a great time. Not tonight, but in the past, I've had a great time. And you guys have been wonderful. And I mean that. Just clap it up for the one and only Sunda Kroonquist, who's coming up here. And I love your bedazzled Crocs. They're lightly bedazzled. It looks like something Gene Simmons would wear during his off time. You've got some spikes on there. You've only got spikes on the right foot, though. No. Is that? Oh, those. Oh, okay.
My kid's gone. You think I'm going to buy these?
I like them. They look comfortable. Give it up for Sunda Kroonquist. Come on.
You know what that reminds me of? One of Mark's... So Mark had this law firm where I had to go to an event. And they were so racist. They were so terrible to me. They were looking at me at the fruit place where the fruit was. They were all staring. And I said, "You thought I was getting the watermelon?" And they were like, "No." And the other lawyer's wife goes, "My best friends are black. Nobody said anything about being black. Nobody." And I did get the watermelon. But I had these beautiful pumps on. And the partner's wife said, "Oh, Sunda wants everybody to pay attention to her red shoes. Everybody pay attention to Sunda." And I looked at her and I said, "Your shoes look comfortable." And that's why I'm laughing that you said that. Because it's not funny, but what's the name of that shoe? Aerosols. I said, "What are you wearing, aerosols?" I said, "You look like you're comfortable." And then I tripped and hurt myself because that's what happens when you're an asshole. You know, it's true. I had a dent in the back of my car. I had a truck, Mercedes truck, and this big friggin' gypsy comes up and says, it's going to cost you $2,600 at Mercedes to get that taken out, and I could do it for $50. And it was going to be $3,000. So I go, you're going to do it for $50. And he's like, yeah, if I get it out, you pay me. You don't have to pay me first. So I said, okay. And he took a plunger and he got it out. And he asked for a tip. But I had been ripped off by gypsies so many times in Paterson, New Jersey. I said, hey, for your ancestors, I said, I paid you. That's enough. And he said, you're not going to tip me? And I was like, no, because you guys always get me. And he said, okay, have a good day. And I ran into a fire hydrant. And you tell me that stuff's not real. They put that evil eye on you, forget about it. And they're living in the houses at the same time. They're reading it's just a very interesting group of people. They speak so many languages. Do you know anything about gypsies? I know a lot about gypsies. And the last name is always White. One day, my daughter brings home a gypsy girl. Because I said, this is how you know. I said to her, are you Persian? And she says, I'm white. So, like, right away, because they always say white. All right. So I say to Aviva, I'm trying to figure this out, but I got to go in this kid's bag. And I find, they always have to take something, a knife, a spoon from restaurants. And when I saw the salt shaker, I was like, okay, I'm right. And so I said to Aviva, I said, sweetheart, dinner. And she's like, you're a racist. That's what that makes you. She goes, you went through her things? And I was like, yeah, to see if our things are in there. You understand how that works? That's how that works. So I forgot where I was going with that, but that's okay. Because you know something? I had no idea that you were anxious. We could talk about anxiety all day. A lot of people. My husband never gets depressed. I hate him. How could you not? One time I was just talking to him. We were dating, whatever. I said, when you feel like you just want to take your life, have you ever been there? And he said, no, never. He said, why would I want to do that? I was like, everybody thinks that way. He said, no, I don't. So that's it. But I told my mother, I'm going to break up with him when he's wrong. That was a long time ago. I'm stalling because Colin has to get his ass in here. So I'm going to just keep it rolling right now. So you guys got to listen. I know. You guys are so funny. They watch, and then they're like, I'm parking. It'll be 5 minutes, and then it's going to take a joint, and then it's going to take a drink. No, I'm kidding. Let's get it up for a guy who really counts. Let's give it for Alan Weiss. Let him hear you.
When Colin comes, we'll just all leave.
Oh, my God. Great.
Teach him a lesson to be here on time. That's what I do in my team meetings. I just assign all the work to that person who came late. Hi, my name is Alan Weiss. Thank you. I don't know if you know that Mississippi is proposing a law that makes it illegal for men to masturbate. Did you hear about this? No. Yeah, you heard about it, right? Shortly after they started forecasting, economics forecasts that it also balanced the budget and take care of all $36 trillion. It's right there. So Donald Trump might pass it too. Let's see. I'm not allowed to answer hypothetical questions. That's amazing. I'm going to use that forever. I don't know why I can't read my handwriting. It's the same horrible thing. I've been in LA a long time, 42 years. I was born here. Like everybody says, everybody in LA, they always go, I've been here so many years. And I was thinking about that. I was like, I've been here 42 years. That's interesting. I've never been hit by a car while I was walking. Oh, he's here.
He's here.
So, when you have your taxes and you get a refund, it means you overpaid throughout the year. It's not a win. It's like the government got a free loan, interest-free loan. Right. What about them jerks? And they don't pay you. You have to pay penalties and interest if you pay too little, and they don't pay you interest when you pay too much. What the hell? What a bunch of horrible. I was at my work, and they promoted me to the interim CFO, which is cool. Yay! Ooh, interim. there's not many things that are interim. You might have an interim girlfriend. That means she's just part-time. But there's no other positions in the office. I looked. You have the interim CFO, interim CEO, interim COO. The C-suites get the interims, but no one else has interim. Like, there's no interim controller. There's no interim marketing guy. There's no interim janitor who comes to work and goes like, "Hi, I'm here for the test run." Whoa! Now I know why the last guy quit. That was a big dump. That was a bathroom joke. I don't usually do those. But it was fun. I had yesterday. So I was in Curb Your Enthusiasm, my own Curb Your Enthusiasm episode yesterday. The CEO came to my office and comes over and says, "Hey." I go, "Hey." He's like, "What time are you leaving?" I'm like, "Oh, 6:30. 5:36." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, are you doing anything tonight?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Okay, you can take me home." So I had to take the boss home. And I was like, "Oh, this is like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode." I should have said I was doing something, but my risk was I could have said I'm going to an open mic, and then he would have been like, "Can I come?" And I'm like, "Oh, crap." It would have just been on and on. And the nice thing is, he spoke. He just talked the whole time, and then half the time he spoke in a different language, and I didn't understand him. So that was cool. Homeless. We were talking about homeless people. I saw this. I take everything literal because I'm autistic, so I don't have any subtleties. So this homeless guy came up to me and says, "Any change?" And I said, "No, you look the same." Wow, right? Let's see what else in the news. I read that what's his name, Kanye. He said he's a Nazi, I think, and he likes Hitler, which is funny considering the Nazis didn't like blacks, and so I think it's kind of funny that he likes the people who would probably put him in a concentration camp too. I'm not racist. I'm not just saying that's what the Nazis are doing. I would have been put in too, because half of my family was killed in the Holocaust. So anyway, that's horrible. But I'm just looking at this guy like, does he know what the hell he's talking about? The guy's like out of his mind. He hates the Jews. Doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. What was there about a hate about us? What did I do to you? I didn't listen to his music. It's probably the issue. I couldn't name one song. He's gonna kill me now. He's probably listening right now. He goes, "Oh, there's another Jew." Jew. So my boss, he's Jewish, but he likes to call me a complex Jew. Right, which is weird because he said that right after lecturing me for an hour on how to keep a presentation simple. It's weird. I also learned that there's a lot of different types of Jews. There's complex Jews, there's cheap Jews, and also apple Jew. Apparently he was just thirsty. So I ran to the fridge and got him a juice. This is my see, I told you it's all Curb Your Enthusiasm. It's my life. I left my water bottle here, and that water bottle, thank you, it tries to ditch me for 6 years. I've lost that water bottle about 100 times, and it can't get away. I get it back every time. Anyway, that's just another other thing. My dad, he when you ask a normal man like how long you've been married, he usually goes, I don't know, 6 or 7 years. My dad, you ask him, he's like, he looks at his watch, he goes, I've been married 45 years, 16 days, 42 hours, and 36 minutes. 42 hours. It's like he's in a jail sentence. Oh my God. What are you in for? Marriage. My dad, when I was young, I'd always be like, "Oh, Dad, I'm talking about sleep and how important sleep is," and my dad's like, "Sleep is the death of the living." So now I'm an insomniac. I just try to please him, please my dad. Doesn't work. Water bottles were. I don't know why I said parcel. Oh, okay. Anyway, I did all those. Okay, let's see what else. What do we have in the in the piece of paper? Okay, so I worked at a premium denim company, and on the first day, I made the mistake of wearing Wranglers. And the billionaire boss came up to me and says, "Take them off." So I did. Apparently, he meant tomorrow. I got a promotion. I really have this boss. He's a billionaire. He likes to brag. About everything. And I was talking to him. He's like, "Oh, I'm a billionaire, and I just bought a Bugatti." And I'm like, "Cool, but I don't care." Like, why would I care? I'm not in his will. Right? Put me in your will, and I'll care. I'll care. I'll start to care a lot. I'll care a lot. But when you're going to die, because that's all these people, his kids are probably like, when is it going to happen? That's horrible. His kids don't think that. I don't know. I didn't ask him. My boss is Jewish, and I bought a cross to ward off my boss. A silver one. And I'm Jewish, so it burns a bit, but it is so worth it. It's good, right? I get so many annoying spammy emails at work, and my IT team won't do anything about it. So I took matters in my own hands and I blocked my boss. Okay, and I think I'm pretty much done at time. So thank you very much. My name is Alan Weiss. You can find me on Alan W. Weiss on Instagram. And this next comic showed up late. So in revenge, we're all going to leave. So, because he didn't listen to any of our set. See, they're all leaving. So, so this next comic came all the way from, I think, the South Bay, right? So he had to deal with all the traffic, and I came from South Bay too, and there was no traffic. Yeah, we're going to bring up the great Colin.
Thank you, Alan. Take your time in the interim. Okay, I feel the hate. Like, I do feel that. I do. I know. There's a distinct disdain for you. Did you stall?
Yes.
Oh my God! No wonder they left. Thank you. Of course you are. Thank you. I appreciate you. I love how Mark has the paint me like one of your French girls. Tell me I'm wrong. Is this how he comes home when he's feeling when you come home he's feeling frisky? Is he lying in that same kind of? If that's not your frisky pose, if that's not it, it should be. It could be. It could be, Mark. Well, I appreciate you guys. I don't like being late, but this is what it, it is what it is today. I'm in dating. I'm out and about. I'm dating. I don't know if you guys noticed, a lot of young people are joining run clubs to go out and meet each other. Problem is, I run a 4:30 mile, so it's just me and that one Kenyan guy. Yeah, no, I don't run a 4:30 mile. I wish. That's just for the bit. Yeah, and also I know you're thinking just slow down, but I'm competitive. I can't help myself. Also, it sucks because afterwards I'm just out of breath. That's kind of hard to have a conversation, Let's see. So I don't know. I'm a little weird with dirty talk. Sometimes I'm with a woman and I get caught off guard by the dirty talk. This one woman said this to me recently. We were in bed and she said, she said to me, I want you to rearrange my guts. I was like, I like to leave things how I found them. You know, I'm not an interior decorator. That's not how I play that game. I don't know what vibe I give off, but I'm not helping you move your couch inside your body. That's not, you know. I mean, like, Jesus. You know, I don't get me wrong, like, I am kinky, but like, manage your expectations. I don't have whatever you think I'm pulling out here. Like, and I don't know if I have the right tool for the job, okay? I don't know what you think I have in my tool belt that I'm going to help you move all of that and rearrange. But I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna maybe slightly nudge things. I'll nudge a little bit. You know, maybe off to the side, but I'm not rearranging anything in there, okay? I know that about myself. I know what I'm capable of. This one woman said this to me. Is another girl. She said, I was really caught off guard. She said, I want to drag my pussy on you like a snail. I got turned on by the creativity. You're like, man, that's just, would you stop it right there if a girl said that to you? No, exactly. Right? It's not going to, it's like, but we're still there. We're still there. Is there anything that a woman could say, do you think, that would make you stop? Like, nothing she can say. There we go. There we go. we found a good one. No, well, he's a Scorpio. He's locked in. Sorry, he's locked in. He's what? Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Just I don't know if you want to be associated with that right now, but okay. I don't know what your agenda is. you know who I'm also like. Diddy Combs. You know, I share a birthday with Cosby. I just don't like how confident and comfortable you were with that. Like, I'm staying far away from Diddy. You were just like, oh yeah, I was at the parties. I didn't do anything, but I was at the parties. I was there. I was around. Jesus. Give it up for, what's your name, man? Tim. Give it up for Tim, just for being fucking positive and great energy. You know, he didn't walk out on me, and says more than my parents. I started taking this ADHD medication called Strattera. It's kind of a unique one. It's weird. This is true. It helps you focus, but it also makes you incredibly horny, but it makes it painful to orgasm. There's been a lot of losing battles, folks. Turns out I don't have the willpower I thought I did. You know how weird that is to find that out about yourself? What you're willing. Like, I've been with women who like stopped because like they got like their leg cramped for a second. They're like, we're done with sex. The whole night's over. I can feel like I'm getting stabbed in the dick for 20 seconds and I'm still going. That's incredible to know that about every man. You guys don't think I found this out for you. You will keep going. You will keep going. You'll be screaming, ah! But it's still, that's the crazy evolutionary. It's still worth it. It's still worth it. Hey, welcome. Yeah, finding out that, so I took a ADHD medication called Strattera. It makes you horny, but it also makes it painful to orgasm. Yeah. It's kind of like if you took quite the 22, Catch 69. And it's kind of like if you took a pill that made it so you could dunk a basketball, but when you land, your knees explode. That's like finding out you won the lottery 10 years ago. That's like if you found out you were about to get adopted, but it was by Casey Anthony. That's what that feels like. So I had an ex. We broke up a while back. But we, usually when you get in a relationship, you gain weight. Usually you get a little relationship weight, you get comfortable. Her and I worked out every single day. Like, we were super into going to the gym. So we ended up being super in shape and everything when we broke up. We both just found hotter people. Like, we both ran into each other's new person. We're like, hey, you upgraded. Hey, good for you. Shit. Hey, like, pretty hot. My dad does magic mushrooms. Anyone here do magic mushrooms? Anybody ever try magic mushrooms? Yeah? Okay. So my dad had these epiphanies when he's on mushrooms. And he said this to me recently. He said, Colin, I realized something, like, no one in my life exists. You don't even exist. I don't know what your parents have ever said to you. You're not good enough. You're not going to amount to anything. You're dumb, blah, blah. My dad doesn't think I exist. Where can I go from here? How can I succeed? And he also made fun of me recently. He said I was gaining weight. I was like, what weight is there to gain? It doesn't exist, motherfucker. It doesn't exist. Some people give me shit because I do a little bit of work for my dad, like side stuff, And one of my friends was like, oh, you're kind of like a Nepo baby. Like, you're just making money through your dad. I'm like, yeah, but you know what happens if you work? I'd rather work for my dad than someone else's dad. Does anyone here have a boss? That's probably someone's dad. Okay. I'm just saying. Yeah, you don't have a boss? Or you do? You're the boss. Are you a dad? Okay. Good. Shoot, what was I gonna... Fuck, where was it? Oh, shit. Oh, I like to, sometimes when I'm having sex, at my apartment, I leave the sliding glass window slightly open, just because I want people to know. I want them to know. You know what I mean? Like, I'm happy. I want to share that. Like, I'm not trying to be super loud or anything, but like, if someone's walking by, like, I want them to know that I'm proud of myself, damn it, I earned this. If I hear people banging, like, upstairs or something, I'm like, yeah, I'm always happy. I'm happy for them, like, we should know people are banging. There's nothing wrong with that. Why we hide it? We should be happy. Okay. I just have a feeling. I don't root for sports teams. I just root for my neighbors banging. That's what I don't watch sports. Okay. Shit, what else do we want to talk about? This is fucked up. So honestly, on Reddit, I saw that this guy went to Home Depot and, like, kind of picked up some of the guys who were working at Home Depot, and he took them to Disneyland. And they were all so happy, and it was like such a big, like, surprise. They didn't see it coming. So I thought, that's such a beautiful thing to do. So I did the same thing. So I drove over to Home Depot and I picked up some of the guys, and you should have seen the look on their face when I got to the border. This is not the right time to tell that joke. I'm aware. And I'm like, it's fucked up time to tell it, but, like, maybe it'll hit harder, but maybe it just makes me seem like a big asshole, and it probably do. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah. Probably don't have enough time for... I don't have enough time for this last thing. I probably got like 10 seconds. So, last thing. I'll leave you guys with this. You guys know GoFundMe? I'm starting a new website just like it. It's called Go Fund Yourself. But I don't have enough money to start it, so I started it on GoFundMe. We were trying to raise funds. All right, guys, thank you so much. And you can find me at comedian Colin Asley on Instagram, YouTube, Pornhub, and let's bring up our wonderful host, Sunda Creamquest.
You saw me on Pornhub. You freak.
Oh, I'd finish.
Oh, you finished, and it wouldn't even burn. No. It's funny when guys say things like that. And like, I peed and my dick was burning. I was like, you gotta go to the doctor. That was, oh my God, you guys get such shit. You're so stupid. And in a lot of ways, it's just like, I don't understand it. Like, what do you mean she's on the pill? How do you know she's on the pill? I watch her take it. Do you watch her when she throws up to keep that shape? You know what I mean? You can get pregnant after you throw up. I'm on the IUD. It's UDI. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about these things. They have nothing to do with me. And you know what? Women's health, I could give a shit about abortions, okay? It's just enough. I'm getting heart problems. No, really, women have problems other than abortions. I don't know why I keep talking about it. I've never seen anybody say, let's throw an abortion party. But boy, is there a big appetite the next day. How do I know? Because I read about it. If you think you're funny, you probably are, but you won't know until you make it from the page to the stage. Let's give it up for Ramirez over here, who's our marketing director. Thank you for helping us all out. And Timothy Martin, of course, our producer here for our new show that's going to be coming out called Live from Santa Monica Boulevard. Don't forget to find me on all platforms at Sunda Live. You've been great. Good night. Thank you.